big. That's right. Fail big. You only live once, so do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. So don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline and consistency every day, not just on Tuesday and miss a few days. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. You've heard the saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work works.
Should keep going, man. I'm starting to feel good about myself, man.
Here we go with that echo again. I got this echo in the background, but top of the afternoon. It's your boy B Jizzle, my guy Bob, and my girl KELZ for round 3 of Dallas Cowboys OTAs and her INTELZ today. So I think she'll be joining us here in just a second. But do y'all hear that echo? Because I hear it again, and this shit drives me nuts.
So
I don't hear no echo.
No, we don't get it. It's just going to be something that's going on with how your headphone is communicating with your PC right now. You might do okay by unplugging it, replugging it, or you might have to go ahead and reset your computer. It's normally a pretty easy thing to remedy. But thankfully, it is only on his side, because that is a crazy inducing situation. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting to the top of it. No echo. There he goes. Yeah. Worst case scenario, he had to go get. You had to do the reset.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we could. We could always hear. Can you hear us once? Thankfully, it is only on this.
We'll just
reset.
make it a little bit more technical.
It
Just
okay
throw my guy
live.
Eric B, who just joined us in the room. I know my girl KELZ is ready to get started on that INTELZ. What up, Eric B?
Hey Barry, what's up, man? Sorry, I got a little sidetracked with this technology.
Man,
turn that phone sideways.
I don't know. I can hear you now, but I don't know. KELZ, are you there? I don't know if I can hear her or Bob.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, we're all here. We got it. We're making it happen, B.
Go ahead, KELZ. I know y'all may be able to hear me, but y'all know how I just got to figure this shit out. I don't know what it is, Bob. This shit drives me nuts.
Yeah, if we had to get into the technology of it, that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
I'm here.
So this is all about the OTAs, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if we even decided that we were going to talk about that, but
Yeah.
this is going to be all about the OTAs right now that Dallas is going through.
Yeah. I'm hoping that BG could get his sound straight so he won't miss out on anything.
BG.
So who's ready for minicamp?
Hopefully the team will be.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't really, no one in this room, it really matters. There's a few other people that it matters. But yeah,
I'm ready to watch it. I'm ready to watch it because I believe in a culture change, and I believe from the top down is where it starts. McCarthy wasn't that guy. Well, even with Jason Garrett for that matter, or Chan Gailey, whatever. But
I think Garrett was more of he had a different kind of culture, but I don't think it was a bad one. Unfortunately, it was just a non-winning one for a little bit.
Correct. But I think this guy might bring a little pedigree and a little bit of culture that takes it to the next level. I mean, I'm trying to be optimistic, but what they've done and Jerry's done and what head coach down, I believe that they're going to compete for the NFC East, which is the best division in football. So if you can win that division, which hasn't been won back-to-back in 20 years, then you might have a chance.
Already, and I'm not someone to listen to press conferences much, but I've listened to all the shots, and at the very least, the guy talks with intention. He's intelligent, and we know he's been with the team for a little bit, and back and forth. But he just gives me a better feeling as a leader at this point. Again, it's way too early to tell, but I feel better already.
Yeah. So I don't know if you caught last week's show.
I think I can only hear Eric. I can't hear Bob. I still can't hear KELZ, but KELZ, I think if you
let me log out and come back
just
in.
guide me through this, we can take a look at
I hear everybody, me, Bob, and her. I don't, and BG.
I want to hear Eric. And I'm scared if I leave the studio, it may just kill the show altogether.
It won't kill the show. It won't kill the show. If we're writing on it, I think it goes on for a little bit of time. It gives you some time to come back, but
I hear all three of you.
Yeah.
And BG. I hear.
I couldn't hear anything I just said.
The thing is his headphones on.
Yeah, he might do better to just try and listen to it. Well, I don't know. That's tough. Mic check.
Mic check. Mic check.
We can hear you.
We got you.
I can't hear you. I can hear Eric, but I can't hear KELZ. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't all of us back out of this and come back in for
yeah,
a
let's
quick
back
second.
out and then come back in.
Well, can y'all hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me, because I can hear me. Maybe they're going to try to come back in. Maybe that's what it is. KELZ, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, perfect. I think we may have got a lick. I think whoever's idea it was to leave and come back. Bob, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh, we back in business. Where's my guy Eric B at, man?
He'll be coming. I'm hoping.
Okay, only 7 minutes in, but thank you if you've been riding with us, man. There always will be technical difficulties in life. But let me just turn it back over to my girl KELZ, because I got your DM chat here, and she wouldn't share with me in the green room what the tea was or the big topic was. So where would you like to start today, KELZ?
Okay, so today, during this week, this is technically the second. Yeah,
third round of OTAs. Well,
yeah. So there was there's nothing going on today. So all the notes I have is from the OTAs from June 2nd, which was yesterday.
Yeah.
So we are now in the post June 1st deadline. So all transactions have taken place as far as money. We currently have $32 million in cap space.
Gonna sit on that.
Now, I thought I seen something in the media with Zach Martin, something like that. We had some about 15, 16 million or something like that to come off the cap. Is that going to hit us on the 31 million we got right now? Or was it?
No, because that money was already allocated. And I don't even know it was 15 million.
So the cap changes a little bit every year, so that kind of gets skewed up.
You said how much, KELZ?
It would not, and I don't think it's
so we got 31 million now, despite
we got 32 million. We have
32 million. Okay. Great. I'm glad we got that cleared up, because I seen that going around and I'm like, damn. So we had 32, now we only gonna get ready to have like 16. So that don't really matter because you said it was already factored in.
So this is what it is. I'm pulling some stuff up now. So it was technically 30 million. But we get 2 million off of Zach Martin's contract because he retired within his contract. So we got 32 million to play around with.
Okay, so I mean that money that's being reported now is not going to affect our bottom line right now. What you just said
No.
is 32 million. So, all right, what up, Eric B? I think we got everything figured out, baby. Good to see you out there in Florida.
Yeah, lower your audio real quick, Eric B. We're getting an echo from your box down there.
Yeah, you know what? I was going through the settings on StreamYard and even had the nerve that I already checked it. It said echo cancellation. I was like, yeah, that shit ain't working. But anyway, speaking of numbers, who is this? Is that our newest linebacker that we signed now with number 13? That was George Pickens. Who is this, KELZ, right here?
Yeah, so we did a jersey exchange. So now our wide receiver George Pickens will be debuting jersey number 3 for this season, and our defensive end Dante Fowler will now wear the number 13. Our linebacker Jack Sanborn, he is still wearing the green dot helmet, and as promised, this is not the actual helmet. This is a practice helmet. This is a green dot.
Show and tell with KELZ, y'all. Pay attention.
She knows. She's been reading her articles because I've been reading them too.
This is a practice green dot helmet. Okay, what you'll see on for training camp, preseason, and the season, it will have the NFL logo, and then it will have like a radio signal that's on there, and on the inside there will be a microphone and a hearing aid right here on the inside, right here. And then if you pull this off right here,
Damn, excuse me.
right here, this part where the head part goes, if you remove this, a computer will go inside. The Cowboys have been working with Baylor, Scott White, whatever that the hospital that's
The hospital
there,
is, yeah, Baylor Scott White.
that's in
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Frisco,
about.
and they've been working with other neurosurgical teams that the NFL has partnered with, because they are part of the head trauma program that will monitor brain scans, brain signals that will detect CTE.
That's crazy awesome.
Yeah, show and tell with our girl KELZ here today. I wanted to talk a little bit more about that. I know on last round you shared with us the green dot. You know, we narrowed that down because I wanted to bring it out to everybody that, linebackers are not those, the middle linebacker is the guy with the green dot. Now, Jack Sanborn did come with Matt Eberflus and Dan Borgonzani, the linebackers coach from Chicago. He is green dot. I know there was some reports there that they said that our guy Kenneth, what's his name? Our linebacker Kenneth was supposed to also be.
So he could also be wearing the green dot helmet. For Cowboys history outside, so all the quarterbacks will have the green dot on their helmets. When it comes on the defense, it's normally linebackers and defensive tackles. So you will probably more than likely see 2 people in the defense with on first team. Let's say that on first team with the green dot helmet. So that will more than likely be Peyton Turner or Kenneth Murray, and definitely Jack Sanborn.
They mentioned the rookie from last year too, Mufafa. They mentioned him too because when last year he had to step in and wear the green dot for a few games.
Yeah,
he's a second-year linebacker out of Notre Dame.
Talking about Maris Leofau.
Yeah, Phil Moffitt is our running back.
Yeah, new running back. I knew running back because I was like, wait a minute, the running back.
2 years ago, yeah.
You about to confuse me over here, Eric B, but I'm picking up what you're putting down. I know what you're talking about.
When Maris Leofau was in the game, he did wear the green dot.
Yeah, that kid.
Yep.
And I did send a link to you, BG, on how the green dot works, because they cannot talk. Whoever the defensive coordinator is cannot communicate 15 seconds I think it's 15.
Yeah, let's just take a look at it. I got it here. It's the Chargers version. Shout out to my guy, Tomas Carrasco, the big Charger fan that follows us here on BDG. But here is a overview of the green helmet or the green dot helmet.
Eric, we can still hear your phone,
These are
man.
the
Lower it a
helmets
little bit more.
that have the speakers inside. And when you see that on the back of a helmet, that indicates that the helmet's equipped with the C2P system, coach-to-player system. It's got these speakers inside, and they'll sit right next to their ears. Attached to that is a battery. Then you have your module, the most important part of it all. This is what makes it work. This is where the signal goes so the player can hear what the play is. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's what it sounds like. Now, one little interesting factoid is that the 40-second clock on the field, when that clock hits 15 seconds, there's an official up in a booth that hits a red button. And then when he hits that red button, it kills the signal. So now the coach can't speak to the player during the play. It's only after the play is done, the signal's open. He can talk to the player, give him the play. And then once again, clock hits 15 seconds, that guy's finger's back in that button. Here is the green dot.
There you have it. That's the green dot experience, the Charger version, thanks to my girl KELZ with the Inside INTELZ. And she also shared a link with me too as well, which I think I'd like to go through because which we alluded to last show was our depth chart, especially when it came to the DT area. ESPN now has the Dallas Cowboys full depth chart up with all of our new rookies and everything. So appreciate KELZ. I'll share this link down in the comments below. Speaking of DTs, as you can see, you got them here: Mozzie Smith, Jay Toya, our rookie, Justin Rogers, Denzel Jackson, and Oso on the right side, and Solomon Thomas, which a lot of folks are for some reason forgetting that we signed this guy from the Jets. Then Tommy Aking Basote and Ernest Brown. So everybody's saying we still need to go get a veteran DT. Is there one you have in mind, KELZ, or per this updated ESPN roster, do we already have enough meat on the bone?
Honestly, if we were to, this is my opinion, I will probably wait a little bit. Let's see what week 1 preseason look like before we get a Tech 1 nose tackle. Right now, if we were to go into training camp, I'd rather get a cornerback.
Okay.
That's where that is kind of shifty because we don't know when Savone Revel will be ready to go. He's not looking almost until like maybe week 5 or week 6.
Okay.
Week 7.
All right. I want to throw that question to my guy Bob, who my guy B Mac over there says, Bill, you look high as fuck.
Is that funny how people call me Bill?
Who do you got? Who do you got on this this DT? Are you liking the DT depth that we have here? Are you feeling we need one? Are you feeling cornerback? Tell me, what's your thoughts, Bob, on this development?
I'm 100% with KELZ on the cornerback issue for sure. As far as DT goes, we can only hope what we've got going on paper is good. Losing D-Law probably wasn't the biggest thing in most people's eyes, but he was a good run stopper. He might not have been the best off the edge, but the guy was really, really good against the run. So having Fowler to hopefully take his spot, I think is a fair swap. I think Fowler was
but Fowler is not going to take a spot. I'm going to tell you the one that's going to do it. And from my talks and everything, he's more powerful. He's more bigger than Tank, and that's Solomon Thomas.
And that's why I asked the question.
He is like,
because the depth is really going to cause that. The competition is going to be because of the depth. You're right. I mean, I feel confident in that. Every year we kind of do these additions though with our defensive tackles and our defensive ends and say that we're going to be able to stop the run, and we really haven't done it too effectively. We did it when DQ was here, moderately better than most years.
I think the turnovers glossed over that fact, but yeah, that's the reason why I asked that, because we were like 28th in the league last year at stopping the run and coming back with all this healthy and all this stuff. I know there's still a small crowd out there saying we need DTs, but I just wanted to get y'all's insights on here today. But I'm sorry,
having a strong team and depth in every position is going to just make all positions better anyway. So we don't have to worry about getting burnt over the top. and it's going to be easier for us to focus on being able to stop the run. And I think having corners that are just a little bit more certain than having just Deron Bland being really the kind of the one veteran on the team to kind of get in there. I'm not really happy about that spot. We don't know about Diggs. We don't really know about what's going to happen with the injuries that are currently on the team. So I think cornerback needs to be filled. And hopefully, honestly, that's the second trade that you and I have been talking about, BG, that Jerry keeps talking about. But as far as the current rotation, I'm all good with having good depth, especially at that position.
Yeah.
And then
The number one guy at defensive tackle right now is the rookie from UCLA.
Oh, Toya.
you talking about Jay Toya. Yeah, as we go back to take a look at this depth chart there. Yeah, you know, a lot of folks fail to forget we drafted, if not the best run stopper in the draft, per some experts, Jay Toya, who's creating havoc. But then you hear the argument, the other side of the argument. And then I'll throw this back to KELZ, and then we can get back into your INTELZ and OTAs. KELZ, you know, the argument is, are we going to be able to rely that much on a rookie in a new coaching scheme this season?
Mazzie Smith. We went on him a couple of years ago, first round, and it hasn't worked out. And I don't think it's going to work out. That hurts. When you miss on a first round pick, that hurts. And Mazzie Smith said,
and then you draft Jay Toya, but then, do you still need to go get another? You need to get a defensive tackle out there now to solidify that with a veteran?
Like I said, I will probably see what Jay Toia and Tommy Aking Basote looks like, because they will be in rotation for preseason week 1. I will see what they look like, and then I will go back and look at the free agency wire to get a defensive tackle that has at least 2 to 3 years.
Now, because per this depth chart, you got left defensive tackle Mazzie Smith, first team, right defensive tackle Osa, backing up left. Backing up Mazzie is the rookie Jay Toya, and then obviously the veteran who we went and got from the Jets, backing up Osa. And then you got Tommy, Justin, Denzel, Ernest. So a lot of depth there. I wanted to get through that. So I appreciate
But I like Justin Rogers, though. I like Justin Rogers.
That's why I asked the question, because there's a small group of Cowboy fans out there, and there's some creators out there too. Shout out to my guy Jay Tuck. He's been driving the conversation on, hey, we still need a defensive tackle, because I hear that side of the argument too. Are we putting our faith in Mazzie under a new coaching system after he's been kind of like a mini bust? And then you got him being backed up by our guy that we just went and got, Jay Toya. Because I bring this up because, a lot of folks blame Dak Prescott in this offense, but look, we were 28th to stopping the run last year. If we ain't stopping the run this year, we're not going to win the NFC East. But let's get back to my girl KELZ on some inside intel's about OTAs. What else are we talking about happening at OTAs?
So our head coach Shoddy, which I am drinking, I did make the Shoddy.
Uh-oh. Is it a Shoddy or Kool-Aid? Is it the Shoddy Kool-Aid, or is it just called the Shoddy?
No, this is actually called the Shoddy. He had it during the scheduled release when it was on the golf course. Yeah. Talking
to Micah and CD there at the golf. Yeah.
Yeah, so I made it. The only thing I used another vodka brand because I do not patronize Tito's. So yeah.
Austin, baby, Austin.
Okay, so which brand do you got if it ain't Tito?
Oh, I used Grey Goose.
Okay.
Oh shit! Well, that's really good shit.
Goose is some really smooth. There's a lot of vodka options out there, but yeah, Tito's made out near Austin, Texas. So, what else is happening though? I mean, we had the number changes. So George Pickens, if you're not aware, George Pickens is now number 3. Dante Fowler is now number 13, right?
Yeah.
Any other number changes?
I'm still tripping on these weird numbers for different positions, man. I got it as an old head.
No numbers right now. But don't be surprised until August or 25th, 26th. Once that 53-man roster come in, some numbers may change during that time. But Shoddy said he expects Micah Parsons to be in attendance for Cowboys mandatory minicamp next week. He said he's been in contact with Parsons, who has been traveling. I did forget that this is May was his birthday month, and he's been in Europe.
But yeah, this is this is news that's out there. While you're talking about that, to get right back to that, Micah did come out and say that he will be at OTAs. He says, "I'll be there. I haven't missed a mini camp in 4 years, even though the contract is not done. I have teammates in the playbook. I'm preparing as if I will be on the field first week of camp, but it's in the owner's hands. I'm ready to win a Super Bowl." So looks like green light on Micah at mandatory mini camp. Now the question is he holding in or is he a full participant?
Well, he's always been a full participant during the mandatory mini camp.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'd be good to get an awesome look out there with him then.
Yeah, so speaking of Micah Parsons, he was at the Star on Tuesday evening. He did not participate in media day. He just came in to drop in and say, hey, and he kept on with his business. Leading up to the mandatory minicamp, players can be fined for missing next week's camp. That's throughout the league. Cornerback Trayvon Diggs, he is currently rehabbing in Miami, but
Miami, baby.
But has had great communication with the Cowboys, the head coach. Shadi did add that all signs are positive in regards to Diggs' recovery timeline. Here's the thing. Trayvon Diggs is now in danger of losing out on $500,000 for missing off-season program per his contract. So that means he needs to be on the plane like now.
He'll be all right. He just signed a $100 million contract.
And it's wild that you say that because he just published yesterday his 3rd episode of his recovery on his YouTube channel that he was out there. And so he's gonna have to bring that ass back. But yeah, I shared this with everybody on my Patreon. So if you want to learn more about Trayvon Diggs' recovery, you can watch it on YouTube. But go ahead, KELZ.
Yeah. So but that's the team fine. I have to see what the league fine will be for that. I have to look into that. So our wide receiver Sedarian was off the side. They saw the most out of George Pickens since his arrival. QB1 targeted him on the sideline end zone throw in the red zone that Pickens fully extended for and caught. We don't know which number he's going to be, but wide receiver Jalen Tolbert also had an impressive TD grab in the red zone work. Prescott fired one to the back of the end zone that Tolbert went over and the top of a defender to haul in. Overall, it was an up and down day for QB1. He went 8 for 14 and has had his best efficiency in the red zone work. A lot of that is contribute to the power plays, route schemes that Clayton Adams is implementing.
All right, going back to the defensive side of the ball here, Brian Hogan joining the show. Facebook, great question. I think we covered this. I'm going to throw this back at KELZ, but he says, why is a linebacker wearing the green dot? The only time I've ever seen a player other than a linebacker or middle linebacker wear it was a safety, I believe, and I forgot who and what team, but a broadcaster for that game brought it up and talked about it. I think you pretty much made it clear the other day, most middle linebackers and quarterbacks are the green dots on both sides of the ball, right, KELZ?
Yeah, because the middle linebacker can see both the right and the left side of them.
Okay. I think that's clear. I mean, Micah's came out and said he don't like that iPad work, but he liked that OJT, but he prefers the defensive edge side of the ball. And no edges in the league have a green dot currently, do they? Do you guys know of any green dot edges or no?
No.
That's a mystery to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's all great information here as we learn about it.
So the only ones on defense that I've known to wear the green dot on defense, I'm just thinking in recent history, since they've been doing that, has been Jalen Smith and DeMarcus Ware.
Shout out to Jalen Smith. If y'all did not know, Jalen Smith was hired by the Raiders. So we visit Las Vegas right after we visit Bob out there in Colorado this season. So it's going to be a family affair. Shout out to CEV out there, clear our view. But what else is cracking at OTAs? Any? You said Micah looked like he said he showed up there. I think some reports are saying it looked like he just got off a plane and came in to holler at everybody to say, "Hey, I'm here."
Yeah. So the Joe Milton experience once again was on full display. A 44-yard bomb to Jalen Brooks down the right sideline on a free play was beautifully placed. He did also throw a pick six to linebacker Damone Clark on a seam throw to our tight end Princeton Fant. It was a nice job by Clark for reading the QB's eyes. Shotty said it looks like Clark is picking things up quickly and Fluce's scheme. He went 7 for 9. QB Will Greer went 2 for 2, stepping up in the pocket while pressured from his right and finding Kelvin Harmon, and later rolling to his left, finding Trayshawn Holden on a crossing route. Our rookie running back Jaden Blue.
Before you get to the running backs, right quick, KELZ, I want to get everybody's insights on this, man. I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited for Bazooka Joe. You know, and I'm not trying to rush Dak Prescott out of the QB1 seat or anything like that, but I feel a little bit more differently about Bazooka Joe at QB2 than
What
I
did he
did
do?
Cooper Rush.
What did Belichick do with the late round pick as a quarterback back in the day? What did Belichick do with the late round quarterback back in the day?
Good question. What did he do?
Turn him into the GOAT.
Brian Hogan. Guess
Nope.
what?
Tom Brady. And I'm not going to hype him up that hype, but he picked Milton late. That was Belichick's pick. He picked Milton late. We gave up nothing for him.
But do you feel better with Milton versus Cooper?
Why not?
Do you
Why
feel
not?
better
You got an
about,
upside.
do
You got a
feel better?
32-year-old Cooper Rush. Let him go. He went to the wrong system. God bless him. We got a 24-year-old badass.
All right, I'm gonna let KELZ get to this question right quick. Then I'm gonna get Bob's intel on this quarterback.
Hogan. Sanborn is MLB1.
Yeah, I think he was just agreeing that maybe green dots are normally linebackers as we were throwing it around the board. And we seen, you know, somebody said they seen a safety, but let me throw it to my guy, Bob.
To say why is Sanborn wearing it? Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a little deeper on the surface there. I think you had to catch that going through there. But getting back to my guy Bob, I know you like some Bazooka Joe bubblegum, Bob, but did you know why they call Bazooka Joe Milton the third?
Yeah, the dude's got a bazooka for an arm, man.
He did.
So how does he make you feel versus Cooper Rush? Are you feeling the Bazooka Joe over Cooper Rush vibes or not?
I mean, obviously at this point we don't have any choice on that matter, but I also think that he's got an upside in the way that Cooper Rush was probably more someone who could kind of squeak us wins by not making too many mistakes, but also not making the biggest amount of big plays to get us ahead. Whereas at least this guy has a sort of physical trait that will put him in a position to make some bigger plays if our wide receivers are open. I think they will be.
And then here's the other thing to tag on to what Bob is saying. Rush, him reading the field is kind of leery because he will stay in the pocket, whereas Joe Milton, even though Joe Milton is a pocket quarterback, he knows how to get out the pocket.
Yeah, he can sense it. His spider senses are kicking in a little bit quicker.
If he sees a defender coming after him, he knows.
He's 24 years old, 6'2", 220 pounds.
Yeah, doing backflips. I mean, this guy is limber. Sterling's tapping in. He said, I heard a rumor that they traded him because they wanted QB1 rumors to end in New England, but I thought having a deep quarterback room was the goal.
That's not the reason. This is the reason what they did. They should have never drafted 2 top during that year, 2 top quarterbacks that year. They got who's the quarterback?
Drake May.
Drake May. Yeah, Drake May and him. It should have been one of the two, but they got both of them. Even though it was in different rounds, they should have never done that. So they let even if they drafted Milton over May first, Drake May would have been a casualty this year for somebody.
Hey, I don't care why they did it. I'm happy Jerry was wheeling and dealing with Will McClay. I mean, they didn't. I don't know at the dollar. I don't even think you could find Joe Milton, Bazooka Joe. Can you get Bazooka Joe bubblegum at the Dollar General, Bob? Where's the last place
You
you
can still
bought
get
some
it.
Bazooka Joe?
Remember, I showed you last week. I haven't bought it. I got sent in a pack of bubblegum cannabis seeds from Mosca. They gave me a little pack of Bazooka Joe gum in it because it is one of the first bubblegums ever. But let me tell you honestly, when it comes to Milton, I really think the other upside is the fact that he'll be a strong runner if he decides to run. We might see flashes of the young Dak that was high stepping and trucking people with his thighs when it came to being at the goal line. So I think there's some things. And the other fact that we also need to really pay attention to this part when someone gets traded or moved from one system that they initially started with into a new one, that automatically lights a fire under most of these people's asses. For most players, I think they usually respond in a positive way. I think Pickens is going to do that, and I think Milton might do that too. He's going to be in a strong system where things are starting to change culturally. He might actually feel pretty good about his chances at being a starter and try and beat Prescott out, man. And what a great story that would be to have competition.
But not only that, you also have to look at the Patriots is also in a new coaching scheme as well. So Joe Milton, the way that Mike Verbal is maybe, and whoever his quarterback coach is, Joe Milton does not fit that scheme.
Maybe Joe Milton was better and Drake May wasn't, and they said, let's get this guy out of town so we don't look like we made a bad investment.
I can't. I have to
That's
push
tough.
back on that.
Well, I'm just saying, there's that side of it too, because Brian says New England is not ready for that style of quarterback. They tried it with Cam Newton, and I bet that fan base backlash was crazy from old Mr. Pepper. Imagine that. Thank you. Good context there, Brian.
You got a statuesque quarterback running the show for you for a long time. That was nothing but a pocket quarterback, and all of a sudden you're going to try and inject that mobility to a. That's a little rash, man.
Which is funny because Cameron has been in the news lately. Said if he could go back and redo it again, Cameron Newton said he would like to be drafted by the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, okay.
But what else you got cooking over there at OTAs, KELZ? I wanted to get y'all's thoughts on the Bazooka Joe. You can check more about that on the link in the comments. That's to my Patreon. Check it out. That's the free version. Tap in for more drops. What else you got, KELZ, dropping from OTAs?
So our rookie running back, Jaden Blue, he got a good amount of burn with the second team for yesterday's practice. So he has been rotating between first teams, kickoff returns, and second team. During his during OTAs, Deuce Vaughn, he isn't naive to what he's up against with the running back shakeup battle for this season. But it also helps that his old coach Connor Riley is now in Dallas. He said that Riley believed in him when he was at K-State.
Well, let me ask this question, everybody. Is Deuce the odd man out in this running back room? Because we drafted 2 rookies, Phil Maffa and Jaden Blue, which is everybody's in love with my boy Blue out of UT. Let me throw it to my guy Eric B out there in Florida first. Is Deuce the odd man out?
Absolutely, he's the odd man out. And as much as I love Deuce Vaughn, 7th-round pick, because his dad worked the scouting for Kansas State. Now, you know what? Great. You're good at Kansas State against lesser opponents. You're quick, you're nimble, but you're not NFL ready. You probably might not ever be. Sorry,
but was he used in the wrong way, though?
He wasn't utilized the right way.
Put him in the practice squad. Let me talk. Put him in the practice squad. You got 4 new running backs right now. Okay? 4. One of us from Denver, who was a rookie that rushed for 1,000 yards. and now he's back. One of them
Javonte
was a
Williams.
2022 All-Pro that tore us up, Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders.
Now he's back. Then you drafted two guys, Blue and Mafa. If you know anything about Blue or Mafa, they're both starters. So you got 4 new running backs. You're going to tell me Deuce Vaughn's going to do something? When you got Hunter Lipke as a fullback, you can't keep that many guys. I'm sorry, Deuce Vaughn, you're on the practice squad.
Practice squad about to be deep this season, y'all. We about
I mean,
to have a starting 5. We're about to have a starting 11 on the practice squad this season. I don't think everybody realizes about what
Fullback position. The fullback position is the push on that one for sure, because there's only going to be room for 3 other running backs, and I think only so we could say that we could definitely say Deuce Vaughn wasn't really put out in the flats like he should have been. We can say that he probably wasn't running routes like he should have been. The same shit we did to Tony Pollard, if I'm being honest. We tried to make a raw running back out of Pollard when he wasn't ready to do that. I think it would have been easier.
That
to
was under
transition
Mike
that guy.
McCarthy's watch, which there was apparently, which KELZ shared with us, a lot of dissension between
For
Money
sure.
Mike and new coach Schottenheimer now on offensive wishes and grants. But hey, will we get more out of Mozzie? Will we get more out of Deuce? This is all shaping up to be great battles in camp, and I'm excited about. These are good problems to have, y'all.
If he's a package running back, then he's not going to be. He won't be running as much anywhere near what the other running backs in front of him will be running.
Right.
If he's even in it as a package running back, he's going to get maybe 1 or 2 a game. Because we saw a couple games where he got 4 or 5 runs and just wasn't doing. He wasn't getting past the line.
It's not going to make
we know there's a lot of reasons why that happened too, but we just don't seem to. If a running back doesn't already have something, we don't seem to be the team that's going to make them get something.
Right.
We just utilize what they have.
And the thing is, we can't say that Deuce Vaughn don't have it because we did not utilize him properly.
Yeah,
Correct.
he got buried.
Because if you look at his Kansas State tape, the way that I have looked at his Kansas State tape.
Well, we didn't have a commitment to running the ball until that got hurt and went down either.
True.
Right.
And we didn't have an offensive line until our Hall of Fame first ballot.
But now we got 4 new commitments to running the ball.
Man, look, you got to be
at this
excited.
point. It's all about competition at this point. So I think honestly, you can say that Deuce is probably at the same level with Blue and the other truck guy. But so then they're gonna fight it out. I really think it's gonna. I predicted it and one of the last shows that we did, BG, that it's gonna be our boy from the Broncos starting, Sanders underneath him, and then Blue and probably Lipke after that, and that's gonna be a running back room. I don't know that it can be anything else.
Hey, I don't care who the running backs are this year. Can we just get a commitment
to
run the ball? I wanted to make sure we got everybody's feedback here on Deuce Vaughn. We weren't trying to single anybody out, but let me ask you this way too early question for KELZ in this running back room, and then we'll switch back to the next position group. Who is the odd man out, you think, in the running back room? Because I know according to this latest ESPN depth chart that's up, it's got, with pretty much what you've been saying is, Javonte Williams is RB1, Miles Sanders RB2, Jaden Blue RB3, and then Deuce Vaughn at RB4. So who do you got as the odd man out when it comes to this running back room? Is it Deuce or somebody else?
I have to see preseason.
Yeah, I know it's a way too early picks, but right now,
I mean, I can't.
Good problem to have.
I can't even say who's the odd man out right now because honestly, we do have some good running backs that's in the room on the roster right now. But I have to see what happens at preseason.
And I think the film that you see of Deuce Vaughn in school is pretty similar to the stuff you saw Blue do. Blue is the kid that almost always in every video I saw of him, he made that first guy miss. Out of their genes, he juked him.
And then when they run straight in the middle, they disappear, and then they come out like, where did they go? Where did they go? And
it'll be similar.
Blue did it against the top 10 competition every week.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal.
And then I can say like this: if I were to look at between Deuce Vaughn and Blue, I will put Deuce Vaughn in, regardless of who his daddy is. I will put Deuce Vaughn a little bit over Jaden Blue for the simple fact he has ball security.
That's true.
There's that argument there too. There's that argument there too. But then before we get to running back, which everybody was telling me, because y'all know I was on my Ashton Jeanty journey. Everybody like, you get Ashton Jeanty. You got
He ain't gonna fall, man.
Lineman when we're in the draft, Tyler Booker. My guy Bob, the Cannabis Cowboy, asked a great question for the rest of everybody tapping in here today, especially on YouTube. Thank you for tapping in on YouTube. We're live on LinkedIn where all the professionals are at, and on Facebook. Is it all about our O-line? Yes or no? Are we getting ready to see a commitment to the run? Because we've heard messaging out of the star before, KELZ. Let me throw this at you. Are you drinking the Kool-Aid on this? Is it going to be a run the ball offense this type of year? Because I heard Mike McCarthy say that for 2 years in OTAs too. Oh, we got to make more of an emphasis to run the ball.
Who's that addressing? Me or everybody?
You, KELZ.
That's you, KELZ. I mean, how are you feeling? Are you drinking the Kool-Aid on this? We going to see especially with drafting 2 running backs. Are we getting ready to see a commitment to running the ball?
I'm always about running the ball because one, that has always been our bread and butter, going back to even with Landry and Jimmy Johnson, they ran the ball. Now, granted, I was a little 5-year-old girl during Landry time.
We was all a little young about that
but
time.
The thing
We were still them boys.
But my thing is, I have a very good memory. We always ran the ball, but it just somewhere down the line, we became
Kellen Moore. Is it the Kellen Moore effect?
Right. We became a pocket passing happy team.
We led the offense. I mean, we led the league in offense 1 year, I think, and then the second year, I think, in a row, I think we were number 2 or something like that under Kellen Moore.
Kellen got cute, man. Kellen got cute way too many times.
Yeah. And the thing with Kellen Moore is he will drop everything that's in his bag in one game. He didn't spread it out. So
he trying to take the whole meat off the bone every time, huh? He ain't messing around.
Right.
I think there's just enough stuff going on with this organization right now that's changed, that's different, that hopefully the folks that are already there are saying to themselves, "Oh shit, okay, good. This is what I wanted. This is what we didn't have for 2 or 3 years, whatever the case may be." I think all of that, along with the fact that we added some things to our offensive line, and that that kid that the first kid we drafted is an absolute monster. We could not have picked a better guy to be on that team. And I was just so impressed with everything he did and everything he said. But really, they made the commitment to the O-line, which is why I asked that question. Right. I do think it's about that O-line. It's not really just the starting of the run game. We have to really remember that if we don't give Dak that kind of time, Dak is not going to perform very well.
Like that 2016 time that he had in the pocket where nobody got to him and he threw no interceptions, I think.
He's getting older, man. He's getting older. He's not going to run anymore. His calf got effed up. He's not going to take those chances. So the line is really important.
He's being very cautious, but he has been running. I can't say that during OTAs. He has been running.
Yeah.
But if I were to sit with the coaches during a playbook planning session on our running opens up our passing game. Sure. So I will run it on 1st and 3rd downs. On 2nd, that's when I will shoot it to either Pickens or Lamb. Whoever.
And it's gonna be,
Turpin in the slot.
Hey, your best ability is your availability. Can the Cowboys stay healthy? If we stay healthy this season on both sides of the ball, you got to take a look at this. I mean, we're taking 90. What? How many is it? KELZ 91 with the international pathway player. How many is it? We're taking in the training camp to narrow it down to 53.
Yeah, I thought
91. 91 players. These 91 players we got currently on the squad now. We don't know if free agency's still here. We could pay Micah Parsons. We still got 30 million.
And they haven't even released. They haven't even released the We're gonna talk about that international. So y'all stay on after the show is over with because I need to figure out how to finagle this. But they haven't released the name of the international passport player. Who
every team gets
international pathway player.
A little bit of a gap. Yeah, every team.
Good question. And the other good question is because now there's news that the new Netflix Part 2 for the cheerleaders is coming out for the Dallas Cowboys. And then also you got The Gambler. I'm predicting it's going to come out on July 4th. Netflix is in the game now with NFL. So you've been streaming under a rock. A lot of things shaking and moving. I'm excited to talk about what you got to talk about in the green room back out there. But I wanted to throw that to y'all because these are good problems for us to have. this roster. Remember last year we were like, we don't even know. Can you go get somebody? You know, can you do something? Remember the meme kicking Jerry Jones, like, can you do something? Like
all in. Ezekiel Elliott was all in. That's it.
Man, it's total different. It's a whole new sheet of music. I think new tea leaves in Frisco. New tea leaves.
We got 4 new running backs. 4 new forget Deuce Vaughn. 4 new running backs. I mean, come on, and George Pickens. Let's go. First round pick offensive line, second round pick defensive end. Jerry did it right this year, finally.
Even though we have 4, if you look at the ones that we got in free agency, I know we got a wide receiver. We got Paris.
You got a defensive edge, Donovan Ezaraku.
Yeah, well, no, we're not talking. We're talking about free agency.
Oh, free agency. Okay.
What's his name? Paris Johnson.
Wide receivers.
The wide receiver and
Paris Campbell.
And Miles Sanders. So here's the thing with their contract; those are conditional contracts, so they can be released. Yeah.
Oh, and that's what we say. That's the goal. We got 91 with the international pathway player. Once we figure that out, we'll share that here with y'all today. This has been round 3 with my girl KELZ on the OTA INTELZ today. Special guests Bob and Eric B. Man, appreciate y'all joining. It's like old times getting the gang back together. Are we starting to feel better about our team? Is that what it is?
A little better, man.
We still got a little bit more. Let me try to knock these out.
All right, we'll wrap it on up, KELZ.
So our safeties, Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker, Hooker went out on a back spasm. Both were injured. Yeah, the first team safeties during the team period where Wanye Thomas and our undrafted free agent signing Elijah Clark stepped in. Hooker did say he will be fine for Thursday's final OTA. Our cornerback Israel McQuamu got some more burn on the outside corner than the team has seen during OTAs. Running back Miles Sanders continues to look super fresh. Our linebacker Shamar James and cornerback Andrew Booth were with the rehab group today. 2 guys that looked good with the 3s was wide receiver Treshawn Holden and DE Luigi Valane. Our defensive end Sam Williams, he's still working with the rehab group and had a brace on his left knee. I think I sent you that picture as well. Our cornerback Kalen Carson, he was back out in individual drills and had previously been working off the side. He looks fully recovered from his shoulder surgery that he had earlier in the off season. Our linebacker Maris Leofau has bulked up this off season. I sent you a picture of him. He has added a lot of muscle to his frame, which is very noticeable. Our wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb, he did not take part in on-field work at OTA.
Yeah. There was they said there's no red flags, but he didn't participate. Right. What was up with that? Any intel on that?
No, but he was in on all of the first team hurdles during team period. Our defensive tackle second round pick Donovan Ezaraku spent a couple of snaps playing off-ball linebacker as the Cowboys deployed a different front. He appeared comfortable working in space, but his main call to action will be rushing the passer. So we will know. So now we know that Ezaraku will be rushing the passer.
DeMarcus Ware. That's all I gotta say. Remember him.
What? You talk DeMarcus Ware comparisons to Donovan Ezaraku?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
We got a first round pick that should have went in the first round in the
that's
second.
That's a
55
lot.
overall.
That's high. Hey Bob, that's high expectations right there.
Yeah. So we got a first. He should, and honestly, Ezaraku should have been gone before Booker. He should have been gone off the board.
Hey, JetBlue reminds me of Tony Pollard. Same 4th, 5th round pick. Let's go.
Yeah.
Moves fast.
Lamb.
I'll tell you that.
So with Lamb sitting out, Pickens had the catch of the day, working back to QB1 in the red zone drills, snagging the pass while outstretched and still managing to get his feet down. So it was a big celebration after the catch. In addition to the touchdown pass to Pickens, Prescott found Jalen Tolbert in the back of the end zone for a score. A third touchdown was wiped out by a Brevin Spanford drop. That was practice was moved indoors after individual drills because of the heavy winds. I did send you pictures of that.
Yeah, there's George Pickens inside there. They did move inside. I was like, oh, what's up with that? Okay, so it's weather related. I thought, oh, they're already trying to hide from us what they're doing.
Yeah.
But anyway, as I digress.
The Cowboys have one more OTA, which is tomorrow, and will hold their mandatory mini camp next week, June 10th through the 12th. Here is some inside news that has not dropped yet on the media, but I do have it. Do not expect to see Pickens play in any preseason games.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I ain't mad.
I mean,
why put him out there? He's on a 1-year deal. Why get him out there and get him hurt?
But not only that.
But let me ask you this. Will Dak Prescott play? Will Dak Prescott play?
You do not want the team. The thing is, you do not want the opposing teams.
That's like you don't want them to know. That's what I said. They move it inside because
Dak ain't gonna play either. Hell no.
But let me ask you this question: is Dak
6 months out?
Is Dak playing? I mean, he's coming off an injury. He needs to shake the rust off, is what the haters will say.
Let me see. I think it was a few shows ago that we did concerning that. There is a possibility for him to do the dress rehearsal. For
in the last preseason game.
Last preseason, but he's only going to do a couple of series, and then they'll pull it out.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'll be at the first preseason game. Shout out to everybody on the West Coast, baby, the best coast, the Rams and Cowboys. I'll be there in first week of August at camp, checking who's cutting and dodging and dipping and dabbing out of camp, especially with this running back crew. But then we'll be at the first preseason game, which I think we'll see a lot of Bazooka Joe, and we'll see a lot of the guys trying to fight for wide receiver 3. That's cool. We don't need CD out there. Let's look at Tolbert. Let's look at, we don't need Cavante out there either. Let's look at Tolbert. Let's look at Holden. Let's look at Mingo. Let's look at
Mingo.
Mingo. The battle for wide receiver 3, I think, is going to be the talk of preseason. I don't know, but that's my early prediction right there. But shout out to V Reese tapping in. Them hard hitters out there in Georgia. Bob, what was you going to say a while ago? You had something to add to something? I think
I was just going to say that we've got to do whatever we do with the money better be smart, because if we just sit on the bank right now and do nothing with it and let the season go by, we'll only have $5 million available next year. So regardless of what that cap movement is, which is going to happen every year, it moves a little bit. We need to do something smart with that money and probably still make some adjustments to salaries, because there'll be another group of people that need to get re-signed at the end of this season. I don't really know who those people are, but I know there's going to be a few.
Balance in the checkbook.
I think the only amount we can roll over for 2026, I think is $10 million to roll over.
We're in a lot better position this offseason this year. I think we can go around the board before we get out of here. Let me just throw it to my guy Eric B. He's over there pitching the ball around. Are we better off right now as a team this year than we were last year this time?
Straight up from last year to this year, I go in thinking from head coach down. All right, we already know Jerry's the owner. Great. God bless you, Jerry. Love and hate him. I'm going to keep going with the head coach. Get rid of McCarthy. I wasn't a fan, never was. And now we got a Scotty Shotty, and let's go. New culture, new team, healthy Dak. Bring in one of the best wide receivers to go with one of the best wide receivers, 4 new running backs, a first-round offensive lineman, and a second-round defensive end. You took care of the trenches. Let's go. I think we're going to compete for the NFC East, which is the only way to do it if you want to get anywhere, because we're the best division in football. So let's go win the division.
Has not been a repeat champion in 21 years. Bob, let me ask you, are we better this time of this year than we were last time this year?
I feel like we are. I feel like at the very least our coach is coherent and talks like an intelligent human in front of the cameras. He spoke the C word multiple times, which is something most of us have talked about over the last 4 or 5 years. And that's really without knowing what actually goes on in that locker room. We still talked about how the culture needs to change. We knew that McCarthy wasn't going to be part of that because he's just a slack-jawed dude. So I think at the very least on paper, with the mildly aggressive moves we made, coupled with a pretty much brand new coaching staff altogether, I think there's a lot to look forward to, because at the very least, we're not going to see what we've seen this entire time. And that's all we want as Cowboy fans, is to not see the same shit we've all seen over and over that keeps getting regurgitated in the system.
Yeah, Zeke up the middle, first play. Let me throw it to the ladies as we wrap it up here last. My girl KELZ on the round 3 INTELZ. Y'all give it up for my girl KELZ, always tracking everything Cowboys. She stay tapped in with her team. She's got the inside intel. She was the one to tell us that Jerry was pushing to the league, the Eagles versus the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football. That check cashed. It's good. But let me ask you this, KELZ, are we better this year, this season now than we were last year this time?
On paper, I can say yes, because Jerry basically told McCarthy last year, this is what I'm going to give you. This is what you have to work with.
This is what you get and don't have a fit.
And McCarthy really didn't have much to work with last year. And that's
And that's even with him saying that he had more leeway with personnel than he had ever had before. But I know what you're going to, and that was that dissension that we're talking about in that C word. I think that's why Bob said that C word's been brought up a lot, because now it's free and open. This guy is like, when I'm in charge, I would never do what that guy did. And now that I'm in charge, check out my program. But go ahead, KELZ. You said it looks good on paper. I agree 100%. Now we got to get some dubs.
But I just need to see everything translate on the field.
I think we all do. And I think that's where the proof will be in the pudding, because now you got Troy Aikman out in the media saying that he's pulling for Schottenheimer as a new coach. You got Michael Irvin, who was just out there a couple shows ago. You shared with us, KELZ, all the legends that came through to show love to. They had like 25 to 28 legends out there. Michael Irvin talked with George Pickens, and you've seen those photos there and things like that. But Michael Irvin has kind of walked that pick, because Michael Irvin was real mad when they didn't hire Deion Sanders. But anyway, I mean, he's now saying that he's now saying that he's drinking the Kool-Aid.
Aikman said he loved he loved McCarthy. Aikman said he's a great coach. I disagree with Aikman. I think McCarthy was a coach that got taken to a Super Bowl on the back shoulders of a Super Bowl champion, Aaron Rodgers. McCarthy sucks. I said it from the day we hired him, but nobody wanted to listen. And I'm like, you know what? The guy sucks.
I was always curious why we hired that guy and nobody was looking for him, but now it makes sense. But
yeah, you're hiding in a cave learning offense? Bro, go stick your head in the playbook.
He wasn't in a cave. He was in a tiki hut in the jungle with his team looking at what do they call it? What do they call the statistics again? Yeah, those things. But shout out to Sterling.
We got this new coach. That's why I started my segment with the head coach down. And I believe in this kid. He's not his father. He's Pete Carroll. He said, you know what? I was a coach under Pete Carroll, and I saw the energy of Pete Carroll when I coached for Seattle, and he was higher than me. He goes, I'm going to be that guy. He's going to be that guy.
But also look at how Chris Richard was. He came from the Pete Carroll coaching tree, and they were on the field, cleats and all. They were on the field with their players.
Yeah, you know, as we close it out here, I think basketball has now become a big thing in Frisco. I hear they're doing basketball competitions now. Shotty and them are doing shoot-arounds. I think I've seen Shotty, because Shotty does offer a lot of substance on his interviews, and that's what I love, because listening to Jason Garrett was like Mr. Robot. Listening to Mike McCarthy was like, I'm just a guy here. I'm here so I don't get fined. And now, you know, we got a guy that brings substance. He's talking that C word. And Sterling says it best. Thank you, KELZ. But on paper, yes, as we wrap it up here today, a culture change and need a playoff game deep run. The Dubs is going to be the proof in the pudding, but we still got a long ways to go. We got mandatory minicamp coming up next week. You know, me and my girl KELZ will be wrapping up mandatory minicamp next week on Friday. So we'll be live on Friday. We'll be live again with my guy Bob during OTAs next week on the 11th for the Smoke Stream Round 5. And let's go around the board before we get out of here. Eric B, any words of wisdom, any thoughts, anything for the haters before we get out of here today?
Settle off. Thank you, coach, all the way down. New culture. I think we compete for a division, and that's all you need to do is compete for your division, because that's the ultimate goal, win your division. And then you can go from there because you make the playoffs.
Exactly. Got to win the division. Bob, any parting shots before we get out of here? We're on two-a-days today, me and you, baby.
I will feel moderately positive and secure with our season if we make a move to get a cornerback on this team.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
That's an alley-oop to my girl
much better.
KELZ. That's an alley-oop to my girl KELZ, because she's saying she's picking up what you're putting down, Bob. Any words of wisdom, KELZ, with your intel before we get out of here on round 3 wrap up?
I'll have Thursday on Friday. That's all I have.
You said what? Thursday or Friday? What?
I'll have Thursdays OTL stuff, OTA stuff.
Oh, Thursdays OTA stuff on Friday.
On Friday.
Okay. All right, we'll take a look at that. Maybe we get that scheduled and penciled in. But we'll be live on Monday. That's right. We got the Monday night pregame kicking off before the mandatory minicamp. So Bob, if you're not busy, Eric, if you're not busy, welcome to come join us before we get into mandatory minicamp, because like we were saying, is Micah going to be there or not? Well, he's already came out and said he will be there. But now the question will be, if he's there,
you don't want to.
Is he participating?
You don't want to lose no money. He don't want that fine.
He knows the game.
Hold him.
Oh, there's fans that are saying that. That's going to be the question. That's going to change the game if he's holding in. But we won't know that until then. We appreciate everybody joining us here on Hump Day today. Round 2 for my guy Bob and I. We'll be back in the gym on the next episode. We'll see y'all. Have a great hump.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.